Hi, everybody. My name's Andrew. I'm a recovering alcoholic addict, and this is A Path to Recovery. A Path to Recovery aims to provide inspiration through experience, strength, and hope to individuals on their path to recovery through a 12-step program. A few of the principles I'd like to share through this channel are going to be the program itself, what things it'll work with, such as sex addiction, alcoholism, drug addiction. I mean, this program really can work for almost any addiction that you have, and that's the beautiful thing about the process. um, if you do a Google search, you'll be able to find some sort of recovery program for what you're going through. I'll be sharing some personal recovery stories as well as general ones found in some of the books about recovery. um, I'll provide advice and suggestions. Everything in the 12-step program is a suggestion, although I will say these suggestions shouldn't be taken lightly. um, and at the end of it all, I think I would like to have a supportive community, maybe eventually some sort of Discord for each recovery program that you can actually go to, find the resources, find the help that you need, find a group of individuals that are going to be able to help you through your addiction. Since this is an introduction to myself, the channel, and the 12-step program, I think it is super important that we do briefly go over the 12 steps. They will be slightly different depending on your specific area of recovery. There are some alternatives, specifically for food addiction or anorexia and or sex addiction, alcoholism, all of those types of things. NA is another program, AA. So they're all a little bit different, tailored specifically to the addiction, but the general principle is going to be the same. And so the first one is going to be admitted we were powerless of the addiction and that we needed help. So, for AA, this is going to be admitted we were powerless over alcohol, um, and admitted that our lives had become unmanageable. So you'll see that uniform throughout the rest of the recovery programs. The second one is believed in a power greater than ourselves and that he could help us. So in AA, you would see um, believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. So that's another one that you'll see. It's very common in NA as well. The third one is decided to turn our will and our lives over to this higher power as we understood him. So again, another version of this would be decided to turn our will and our lives over to God as we understood him. The fourth one is going to be take an honest and searching, fearless moral inventory of ourselves and our actions. And so this is a really important step. It really does help you kind of see where you've wronged people. And you also kind of learn quite a bit about yourself and do a lot of reflection in a time where maybe you've been oppressing a lot of those feelings that you haven't dealt with for a long time. Or understanding where maybe some form of validation that you weren't getting was coming from, or really kind of understanding where your addiction was coming from, because your addiction is it is sort of the byproduct of unmet needs. It is not necessarily the problem itself, right? For instance, overeating is a problem, but not everybody overeats, right? So what is in you that is creating that addiction? What is creating that consequence? What are you getting from it? And when you do this inventory, it really does help you see what you're doing. um, the fifth step is very humbling. It's admitted the nature of our wrongs to ourselves, to another human being, and to God. um, Six, you'll notice that there's some religion in some of these, and in others they keep it very neutral. That's why I like to say a higher power is you understand him versus God himself. I mean, that to each their own, and that's the beautiful thing about this program is the structure similar. But if you've got a problem with the church, then don't go to church. I do Bible study online all by myself. That's the way I like to work with my higher power. That's what helps me the best. I'm not saying I haven't tried church. I went to a few of them. I didn't really agree with what they were saying. There was a lot of opinions and things that didn't need to be in there. For me, doing Bible study online, as long as I'm doing it that way, I get to take what I want from it, just like everything else in this program, and throw away what I don't. Sixth is agreed to remove these problem features or defects of character from us In AA, it'll be slightly different. I'm trying to remember what it is here. Let's see. So AA is we are entirely ready to have God remove these defects of character. 7 is ask our higher power to remove these shortcomings. 8, list those who have been harmed by our addictions. So in AA, this one is a little bit more specific. It's made a list of all the persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. Number 9 is made amends to the people wherever possible and beneficial to all. Number 9 in AA is probably my favorite because it is a little bit easier to digest and also can keep you from getting into a lot of trouble. It's made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. And I think that's really important because I know my first time around, I did this when I was 18 or 19 years old. Obviously, there was still a lot of ego in my life. And I think that there was some amends that I made. Part of me was like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I'm making the amends. But the other part of me was kind of like, we're making this amends, but I know it might hurt you. And I think, or I just didn't care. I was being reckless with my honesty. And I think that can be just as bad as lying sometimes. There's a time and a place. Not that, honesty is the best policy, but again, there's a right way to do things in a wrong way. So 10 is continued to take a personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. In kind of the religion neutral one, this is a continually take personal inventory and admit it when we were wrong. 11 is super important. Through prayer and meditation or mindfulness, seek improvement. The AA one is, again, it's my favorite. I've been in a few different programs. I think the AA 12 steps are my favorite. It's sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with our higher power as we understood him, praying only for knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. And then 12 is the whole reason I am doing this. So part of the 12-step program, and you're going to notice a bunch of these corny slogans as we get through this, is you can't keep it if you don't give it away, right? Like, you don't get to keep your sobriety if you don't get to share it with these other people. Like, working with newcomers, as you get sobriety and you start doing this, like it says in one of the books, right? It's like cunning and baffling, and it's really easy to forget where you came into this program at. And if you're not actively helping other people get the program, it becomes real easy to slip up. You get some confidence under your belt. A lot of people will get 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and then start over. And then 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and then start over. 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and then start over. And it's because whatever your addiction is, you think you have it beat, and you think, oh, now I can do this. Now I can drink like a normal person, or now I can go to a party and use once, or, maybe I can just overeat a little bit, or, maybe I can just watch whatever, video at one time, and then, it's going to be okay after that. I'm going to be able to walk away. I did 30 days. It's like, no, I don't believe that I can do that. And I think it kind of just all keeps going over time, and you'll be practicing these daily, all 12. It might take you a year or more to get through the first round of 12 steps with a sponsor. But this is having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps. We tried to carry this message to others struggling with addiction, and that is why I am here. I think for me, it is going to be a huge part of my recovery and my accountability in my program to share this with you. And I'm hoping to make it universal enough that anybody dealing with any type of addiction can get some help from it and then find the appropriate place that they need to go. This is not in any way a substitution for a support network, a sponsor, individual therapy. All of those things still need to happen, right? You have to do your part in this for it to work. You can't just sit here and watch 20 videos and be cured. There's always this commercial I used to think of, and I always tell this in some of the meetings, right? Like, it was like Malibu recovery or whatever. And it's like, I used to be addicted. Now I'm not. And it's like, it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. There's not an easy button. Um, there's not a switch that you can just kind of kick to turn off. And I think another thing that people forget, and I know a lot of people who, there we call it an AA white knuckle sobriety, right? So you're sober, you're not drinking, but you're not necessarily fixing the problems. And those are a lot of people you see. You see a lot of people who maybe stop drinking, but they still have these tendencies and addictions that are like, they're the people you see and you're like, okay, well, you don't do drugs anymore, but you still act a certain way. You're still treating yourself this way. You're still, behaving in this certain way. I think the long and short of the program, I kind of went on a tangent. I may have cut it out, but um, I think the long and short of the 12-step program is, again, addressing the issue that is really creating the problem, right? The problem is you're drinking, but the thing creating that is not necessarily the alcohol or the food or the porn addiction, right? There's an underlying cause there, and we need to try and break those pathways that our brain has made to do that, and really kind of go from this unconscious state of, it's like autopilot. It's just like, I feel upset, I'm gonna go do this, or I had a good day, I'm gonna go do this. It's like there's always an excuse. There was always a reason for me to partake in one of my addictions. And it didn't matter what kind of feeling it was. It was almost any feeling, I had a reason to do it. And the goal here is to break that path, build a support group, and really kind of release those feelings that are making us do this. So thank you for joining. I greatly appreciate you watching this video. If you watch till the end, like I said, I need this as much as you guys do, and I'm hoping to take this as far as I can and consistently upload. We do have a daily reflections book that I plan to read on from a couple different recovery programs. I'll probably put those in the YouTube shorts, and then I'll do maybe a video for each of the steps in AA and some of the other programs that I've been involved in. And then, eventually I would, like I said, like to have some sort of Discord. There'll be links to all of the 12-step programs that I can in the bio. If you guys know someone struggling with addiction, or, someone who's looking to recover, or if you're just the person who's like, I can't believe I did this again, like, why am I always doing this? Or you're that person who, should have learned their lesson by now. It's like everyone's telling you, like, why are you still doing this? Why are you still doing this to yourself? There's a place for you. And I think the 12-step program for me has been a life-changing thing. And there's even one for people who live with people like us, people who have dealt with addictions. And it's called Al-Anon. And I definitely would even recommend that to friends and family, or if you know someone who's living with an alcoholic and doesn't know how to get out of it, or anyone in addiction. Again, this is a universal program. Again, alcoholism for me resonates the most. But it is something, it's one of many, unfortunately for me, but at least I'm aware. And that's kind of what the first step talks about, right? Is admitted we were powerless over it. And that's the first step to recovery. So please share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm hoping I'll have a TikTok and an Instagram made soon, and those will mostly be, slogans posted regularly, those types of things. So if you need a quick 5 seconds or 10 seconds of recovery, I'm hoping I'll have that available for you. So thank you.